So you debuted your new one-woman show, Classical Julie, this past July at Birdland.
Yes.
And now you are doing a month-long gig at Birdland.
Right.
What was it like when you got the call that they wanted you to come back to do a month-long?
Well, Jim and I have, Jim Caruso, who does Broadway at Birdland on Monday nights, and I have been talking about it for a while, but for some reason the Classical Julie show really resonated with so many people. They really, really enjoyed it, and he just thought, maybe this is the time to do it. And we had talked about doing it right away, right after Classical Julie. Mm-hmm. But I had a few things, new material that I was working on, and I didn't want to go in right away into a new show. Mm-hmm. So I said, Jim, give me a couple more months because I'm working on some new things. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that new material will be in Classical Julie. So even if people saw Classical Julie in July, they're actually going to be getting some really 2 or 3 completely brand new things, stories that even you, Adam, have never heard.
Oh my God, that's going to be great. What do you enjoy about performing this show?
Well, one thing that I love doing is I love doing my own material. Mm-hmm. And of course, I always love talking about my mother. Because she's, as I like to say, she's very misinformed and very opinionated, which is the key to comedy. But, she's also 88 years old now, and of course, really opinionated at 88, which makes it even funnier. This show is about everything that's epic. My whole point of Classical Julie is that I am not interested in the mere or the small. I'm interested in the grand and the epic. And classical theater definitely takes those themes into consideration. But for some reason, Adam, I am never considered for the classical theater. I don't know why they would, ask Janet McTeer to do A Doll's House when they have Julie Halston right on West 55th Street. I can do Nora. A Comac girl can really understand Nora, maybe better than Janet McTeer and Liv Ullmann and all those people who do A Doll's House. And I do Medea, because, Greek tragedy, I understand.
And that's coming back. They should have had you do it.
Fiona Shaw?
Right.
They don't need her.
Right.
I'm telling you, a girl from Comac, Irish-Italian girl from Comac, knows a lot about Greek tragedy. So Medea, I'll be doing Nora. I also use some of the modern masters like Tennessee Williams. I'm also going to do a lot of my own material that people know and have come to expect, like the wedding announcements and talking about my mom. I will also be addressing Hurricane Sandy because that was an epic event.
Yes.
And some things that I've been going through, some surgery material that I would like to address. So, I'm very excited. It's new, it's old, it's classical, it's epic. Plus, this time, I think we have some press on this, so of course that's epic too.
Yes,
Whenever you have press, it's epic.
And everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
This video alone is going viral.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Everybody's going to know about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So forget those dogs and cats. It's all about Classical Julie.
That's right. That's what it is.
Yeah. So
that's what it is.
And so that's that. So
terrific.
Yeah.
And how did you decide which classic theater pieces you wanted to include in the show? How'd you decide, like Ibsen and Medea?
Well, there are certainly people that come to mind immediately when you think of classical material. The first thing, of course, is Shakespeare. So I will be doing some Shakespeare. Chekhov, Ibsen, the Greeks, Tennessee Williams. But then I'm also going to be doing a piece that I've written myself, which incorporates many, 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 many different writers, both modern and classical. So that's a showpiece. But I think those guys, those heavy hitters are usually what people think of, you know. So that's why I decided. And also, they did write some great, great roles for women.
Yes.
You know, like Nora and Medea, Blanche Dubois. You know, Vivian Leigh, all right, she was all right.
Yeah.
But, you know, Julie Halston on West 55th. I mean,
right.
she could do it.
That's right.
I can be fragile and tough at the same time. And what else? Ibsen, you know, because of A Doll's House, you know, this was really considered one of the first feminist pieces.
Yes.
So that's what allowed me to think, oh, you know, let's put him in. And Chekhov, because, you know, he's a riot. He's just a riot. You know, all those bored people who, you know, have financial worries, you know. Well, I understand, you know, I get it. So Chekhov, I had to do him.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific. And how did you decide of your material? How did you decide what you wanted to include? What did you consider epic or classical?
Yeah, that was a little more difficult. But I stuck with things that people have really requested of me in the past, over the years. One of them being certain readings that I do. You know, I do wedding announcements, and I did find one that I thought was really very, very moving and very epic. I always do a reading of, you know, like Joan Crawford or Nancy Reagan, you know. Mothers are very intriguing to me, my own mother being an epic woman, but also those kind of mothers, you know. I mean, someone like Joan Crawford is, you know, really the biggest mother of them all. So I had to include certain things like that. And, you know, some of my showbiz stories, like the first feature film that I ever did, you know, because if you're going to really tell people about yourself, you want to tell them your whole story, which is where you're from, how you got into this business. I have to discuss marriage because I've been married to the same, you know, heterosexual man for over 20 years. It's my tragedy. Thank God I have, you know, a gay SWAT team to keep me together.
Yes. Everyone needs that.
Everyone
Who
needs
doesn't?
that. Yeah, exactly. So, but, you know, those are epic and very, very grand themes, you know, love, work, hurricanes, you know, these are very big events. So that's what I decided on. Those kind of big events will go in.
Terrific.